Hello and welcome to Raven's Arcana. I am Raven, and this is your daily tarot reading, and this is going to be, are you on the correct path? So I hope everyone is hanging in there, having a wonderful day. I hope that continues for you into tomorrow, the next week, and thereafter. And let's get down to business and see where this reading takes us. So, are you on the correct or right path? So we start off the reading with the Ten of Swords, followed by the Moon. And then the final card in the first spread is the Five of Pentacles. Now, if the question is, are you on the correct path? I would say, with the Ten of Swords, I don't believe so. So there's going to be a large change. I think mentally you've tried to hang on to something and tried to make things work. There's been a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety involved. But unfortunately, the path you're on, there at least needs to be a jog to the left or the right. Now, with the Moon card, following the Ten of Swords, this is telling you to trust your intuition. Really pay attention to the messages that are coming from the Akashic, from collective consciousness. And I believe that you are not on the correct path. I think you've tried to make this work for quite some time. We'll get in a little bit deeper into what possibly your path looks like as far as what you've been doing, what you're trying to attain, what goals you're trying to reach. And remember, the Moon is also illusion and delusion. When we talk about the Moon card in the traditional sense, there's that path down the middle, and then on the left and the right, there are things that sway you. There are those primal instincts, and then there are those domestic instincts. Now we need to balance those out and stay in the middle and be guided by the Moon and then intuition, the energy that the Moon has, not the illusion and delusion. So it's very difficult. The Moon is very tricky bitch. After that, we have the Five of Pentacles. Now this is being left out. This could also be financial ruin. This could be loss of money. But this is typically being in solitude, not being a part of something. Now, some of us want that. Some of us like being alone. We like our alone time. But this is typically something that forces you to be separated from people that you actually want to be around. We have the Eight of Swords. Now, this kind of ties into the Ten of Swords, and if we're asking about, are you on the correct path? I think you've always thought you have to do whatever it is you're doing right now. The Eight of Swords is that mental prison, which we create for ourselves. Now, we continue to exhibit certain behavior, have certain thoughts that contribute to us staying on a path that might be self-destructive or really has no fruit at the end of it. And this ties into possibly some illusion or the delusion that you're going to attain whatever goals you're trying to really put in your basket, right? Now, this doesn't mean you can't attain your goals. It just means the path that you're currently on, the things that you are currently participating in, I don't think is going to end in that fruition that you expect. On the left-hand side, we have the Page of Wands. And this kind of pairs with the Moon card. So listening to your intuition, not being drawn to the left, to the right, creating a path that is going to be fruitful for you. With the Page of Wands, that is a message to feed your soul. Remember that divine spark in you. What drives you? I think you have been misled to take a more logical approach if we're looking at the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Swords, and not taking that leap. We talk about the fool's journey, taking that leap and feeding your passion, what makes you happy, what fills you with joy, what makes your heart sing, if you will. And this is telling you, whatever path you're on right now, you're trying to overanalyze from a logical mind. You need to do that from a passionate heart. Let's go below the surface and see what we're getting into. So we have the Three of Wands. And as you start listening to that message from the Page of Wands, to do things passionately, not logically, you start to see things, you start to have a vision, and things start to come together for you. We have the cat in this picture. And it immediately came in, cats are familiars to witches, but everything looks familiar here, but you're looking over the sea. You're starting to philosophize. You're starting to realize exactly what you want. Perhaps what you were actually trying to reach as far as your goals, as far as that fruit, metaphorically, wasn't actually what you wanted or what you needed. Perhaps you've been told that this is the path you are supposed to take. The duality of the swords might come into play. What people want for you and what you want for yourself. What you have been told you're supposed to do with communication from the swords, from other people, and what you actually want to do. And then we have the Knight of Swords. And I just said that removing the logic from the way you approach whatever it is you're trying to do, and just digging into your soul, finding that spark, that passion. The Knight of Swords is movement, but is movement without a whole lot of logic. This is an adolescent card in the court cards. The Knight, even though it is the Knight of Swords, there's a lot of knee-jerk and a lot of reactionary things. And if we're talking about the Page of Wands and that spark and that fire inside of you, in your gut, that willpower to do something, the Knight of Swords is void of a lot of that logic. Now, you want to stay within the bounds and make sure you stay on the path that you're about to create for yourself, but you want to go full force. Underneath the Moon card, we have the Eight of Pentacles. And this is doing things your own way. I think you have been told, or you have assumed, that you are supposed to do whatever it is you're doing right now. Whatever goals either you have in your mind that you've written down or you're trying to achieve, you haven't really been doing it your own way. And if we're talking about not being swayed to the left or the right based on what people tell you should be doing, or you assume that you should be doing, you're not really doing it your own way, making your own mark, creating your own pathway to success, and whatever success may look like for you, depending on what you're currently focused on. Now, the Five of Pentacles, we talked about either financial hardship or maybe feeling that you are disconnected from people or from things that you would otherwise want to be involved with. The Knight of Chalices is the romance of the moments. It is the love, the appreciation. It is slow moving, just like the Knight of Pentacles, but it involves your emotional state. If you are functioning solely from a logical perspective, and trust me, I do that all the time, and I neglect what fills my cup. I neglect sometimes because I'm really good at overanalyzing things, looking at different scenarios and the way I approach them and participate in them from a logical standpoint. But that's not always the way to do this. We want to make sure that our emotional cups are filled, that we have joy, love, romance. And when I talk about romance, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It's the romance of the experience. The waves. If you're looking at the Three of Wands, the waves of emotion that come over you. And then underneath the Eight of Swords, where we talked about creating that kind of prison for yourself, where you're just inside a ball of stress and anxiety based on, is this going to work out? Should I really be doing this? It's felt like the right path, the right way the whole time, but it's just not really developing in front of me where I can see any kind of end game. We have the Devil card. And I think you feel like you are bound to this. Perhaps someone told you that this is the only way to do this. They expect you to stay on this path. Perhaps they expect you to keep a vow, to stay in a relationship, to go to college. I heard college come through, to finish school. And it could be a technical school. It could be going into the family business, anything like that. And in this case, there's some external influence. And I think either people have put expectations on your shoulders. They tell you this is what you're supposed to do. Or you have a degree, or you have all this knowledge, and you don't want to do it. You know, we can change. We can pivot. We can do what we want to do, and it might upset other people, but we have to focus on ourselves. And I think the Devil card here is telling you that, you know, you are bound to someone else's wishes, to someone else's dreams, to someone else's expectations. And you can absolutely remove those bindings. I want to get a few more cards in here just to get some more clarification. We have the Three of Pentacles. So I think that you can absolutely communicate your dreams, your new path, your jog off the path, if you will, to the people that have set the expectations or assume you're going to act or follow or do in a certain way, and they will understand. But you have to be honest with them. And this could also mean that you're going to work with other people to create this path. And perhaps you've been trying to do something on your own. And perhaps the pathway is not clear because you needed to pull someone else in. And it creates a larger path, right? It creates that vision you have of where you want to be. It's just not clear. There's nothing happening in the background of this Three of Wands. But with the Three of Pentacles, through that collaboration or through releasing the stress, the anxiety, and telling people to back the hell off, let me be my own person, let me be what I want to do, you start to see things come together. Or like I said, on the flip side, you bring in other people, bring in support, bring in a partner. And if you do this, if you pay attention to your intuition, you do not get swayed by other people, either by voicing their opinions, setting their expectations, or you assuming that they want you to do whatever it is that you're doing currently that you are focused on. We have the 10 of Cups. That is ultimate joy. That is ultimate fulfillment, ultimate happiness, based on you removing that information or looking at everything from an analytical or logical mind, following your passion. And we see the moon in the background here as well. You've listened to your intuition. You know something's off. You know something's not right. Even if it's subconsciously, right? You know that you just continue to kind of put work in, put one step or one foot in front of the other, and it's almost like you're not going anywhere. You're in quicksand. But I think if you start to focus on yourself, start to focus on what feeds your soul, what fills your cup, what fills you with joy and happiness. Remove the bindings you have to expectations of either society, people in your life, or what they've told you. And in this instance with the Knight of Swords, absolutely. Follow it. We're only here for a short amount of time. Do things your own way. Bring in other people if you need to. And tell other people to back the fuck off. Because you got this. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you sticking around if you did. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you enjoy the content and you are not subscribed, you can always subscribe. You can also hit the notification bell to get alerts when I release new material. And yeah, do things your way. Feed your soul. Fuck what everybody else thinks. Get out of your own head, your own way, and make it happen. All right.